Hi y'all, so today we're going to be talking about the Dirac, the NSO's directive pistol, and one of the S tier pistols in the game. It is amazing. It is genuinely a really, really good pistol. It is absolutely worth grinding for, on its stats alone, and then there's a couple little extra features that we'll talk about that make it a little bit better than you might expect. So the Dirac is essentially a rework of the Lastly. What you need to know here is that the Dirac has 250 faster muzzle velocity, which is actually pretty big, a slightly slower reload, a slightly smaller magazine, slightly worse hipfire accuracy, and most notably, it only drops 1 tier damage. This means the Dirac is a 7-shot body at all range and a 4 headshot at all range, which is pretty crazy on a pistol. Combine that with 550 muzzle velocity, and yeah, this thing hits hard over range if you have the aim for it. And, just to really drive this point home, it has a 3.4x scope built onto it, as you may have noticed. It's good at range. It's a good pistol. Even this alone would make it, like, high A tier, in my opinion, because it's a 4-tap at all ranges. Sure, it's not going to hit as hard as the Pilot or the Underboss or the Harbinger, but it has insane range consistency, and it's really easy to use. It's also very spammable, unlike the other pistols, except for the Pilot. So, now, it's time to talk about the bonus features of the Dirac. So, like the other NSO pistols, it has slightly larger bullet sizes. Normal weapons are 0.03, NSO pistols are 0.075. So they're big. It's not unstable tier, that's 0.1, but it is bigger than regular rounds, which makes headshots and body shots easier, especially headshots, which matters a lot on the Dirac, believe it or not. So, that's the intended side feature of this gun. There are more unintended features. So, you have the 3.4x scope built onto the pistol. That's the whole gimmick. You can still switch. So, for example, if you want a 2x, you could slot a 2x. Although the regular 3.4 is generally exactly the kind of zoom you want on a range pistol like this, maybe you're thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to use it as a better Lastly. Why don't I run a 1x on it? It has 3.4 zoom on the 1x scopes. This is actually huge, because this means you don't get the absolute clown shit bad housing and reticule that is on the 3.4. Like, look at how terrible this housing is, and personally, I don't like this reticule at all, but more importantly, the housing is terrible. So, just slot a 1x and suddenly you have a better housing, a preferable optic if you prefer different reticules, while still having the zoom! So that's unintended feature number 1. Unintended feature number 2 is it has the compensator bug, which means it only reduces hipfire by 1.5% instead of 15%. So there's literally no reason not to run a compensator on it. So yeah, very cool. As for slot 3, honestly, either options are valid here. Personally, I like the extended mag because you really want to be going for headshots because of that 4-tap at all ranges. So to me, the extended mag is more valuable than the laser sight. And because of the compensator bug, you don't really need a laser. However, if you want to run the laser, it's not like you have a real penalty for running the comp with it, so, just go ahead and run it. So yeah, it's a good pistol. It's a very good pistol. Like I said, I don't think it quite breaks Underboss, Harbinger, Pilot tier. Those pistols are just far, far too strong at what they do, unfortunately. But the Lastly comes damn close. It is a very, very nice pistol to use. I think it's a very nice general pistol. You don't ever have to worry about, say, being overcommitted into a niche. Like, for example, here's one thing for you, okay? You want a range pistol. What are your options? You have the Blackhand, which is hard locked to a 4x scope and a 4-round mag, so it's very punishing, and not very convenient in close range at all because of how dog shit the magazine size is, it being locked into a 4. Or you have the Showdown, which is a 1x, so it's not that good at range. Instead, here you have a pistol that is very, very safe to use, very easy to use, and one that performs exceptionally in range because of 4 taps, and you get a 3.4 pretty much for free. It admittedly does kind of suck that there isn't a true 1x scope available, but personally, for a precision pistol, having that 3.4 to click heads is so valuable that I wouldn't want to run a 1x anyway. So,
Excellent.
yeah, the Dirac is good. It is a very, very good pistol. Of course, like I said, you could run a laser on it, but because of how headshot dependent it is, like all pistols really, I would run the extended mag and just treat it as, you know, any other gun. If you do want to use it as backup weapon, of course it works for that, in which case you might want to run a laser sight, because then you won't suffer the equip speed penalty that the extended mag does. But, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. So, this is Connery, of course. Live footage, you know, as we do. I haven't made a review in a long time, so, ooh, scary. But, ultimately, the Dirac is one of those guns that I run out of things to say with it. The Dirac is so good, I have no issue with it, because any issue I would have with the Dirac would borderline it, make it overpowered. In fact, even this gun's bugs, like the compensator bug that it's present with, and more importantly, the scope bug, in my opinion, is the much more useful of the two, I would really rather not see this get fixed. Because while the standard 3.4 housing is tolerable, it is not good. And having a much more open housing that the 1X frame provides is really, really huge for the Dirac. In fact, in my opinion, shitty housings are the main thing holding back ranged pistols in general. So getting a standard 1X housing makes it a lot better. So yeah, the Dirac. It's very good. It is absolutely worth your time. I would personally... It's difficult to rank directive weapons on what's just most worth your time, what's just not. I think if you play a lot of NSO, and you are in the market for a pistol, or better yet, you are just slowly working on iraqing them by playing the game, then the Dirac is a wonderful reward. If you want to target it outright, it's also still a wonderful reward and absolutely worth the time because it's that good. It is also the only directive pistol, I would say, notably, that is actually worth getting, as the other ones are largely all meme pistols or bad. Main downside to the Dirac is, like all the other NSO pistols, it fucking blocks your screen when you reload it, because I would not want to see what I'm shooting at. Other than that, yeah, it's a great pistol. I think the gameplay speaks for itself. I'm not a great player by any means, but I'm pretty okay. And it is really silly. If you're going to use it as a primary pistol, obviously you could run a suppressor on infiltrator and just run around trolling people. I like to run it on heavy. Gunslinger implant is, of course, recommended because of the reload speed buff and the swap speed buff if you're going to, say, run double pistols, or if you're running a launcher. Yeah. What you need to know. Dirac is good. There's really nothing more I can say about it without just repeating myself endlessly, which is what I have already been doing. It's worth it. It's worth your time. It's strong. It's honestly filthy. It feels gross to use. It's that good.
I will not fear. I will not back down.
Damn. I was basically planning on just going until I properly died here, but seems like I got that opportunity. So, it's a great pistol. It's absolutely worth getting. I don't know if they're ever going to fix the bugs on it, because as far as I'm aware, these bugs have been on the gun since the NS overhaul happened, or at least since the Arsenal update happened, specifically for the compensator bug. So, unless this video makes the Dirac very popular, I don't see it getting fixed. Even if it does get fixed, okay? In the assumption that the Dirac gets fixed, because we're future-proofing this video, then I would still run the compensator anyway. Just use it specifically as an aim-down sight pistol, and then either run the 1 or the 2. The 3.4 housing is just too uncomfortable, in my opinion, to use, but if you can learn to make it work, you can learn to make it work. So, great pistol. Holy shit, it's an actually good NSO weapon. Oh no, somebody call... Toadman? Is it Toadman that runs the game now? I think so.